All time. All time. All time. All time great performance from Barcelona this weekend, beating Levante 3-0 at home. And let me tell you, we put hands, feet, and hooves all over Levante. They didn't know what to do with us. They didn't know what to do with us. We were absolutely sensational, especially, I'll get into match ratings a little later, but especially Joao Cancelo. I haven't seen a performance like that from Cancelo if in almost 3 years since he was back at City. It was that special. Cancelo, he's not the greatest defender in the world. I'll be honest with you. He is not the greatest defender in the world whatsoever. But his strength is when he joins in the attack and he's serving balls into the box, dangerous balls, world-class balls into the box, and it's really a wonderful thing to see. It's a wonderful sight to experience. Cancelo attacking it's something special. It's something special, but he still can't defend for absolutely nothing. He cannot defend whatsoever. But that's not the point of the video today. We won 3-0 and got our lead back in La Liga after suffering very, very bad previous results. We lost our lead for a week. And Madrid honestly had a chance to run away with the league, but they did what they always do, fumble the bag, and now we're back on top of La Liga. And it would have been a shame to see Madrid at the top of the league past just 1 week, because they've been absolutely dog crap all year long. I'm not saying that we've been great, but we haven't been Madrid bad. Madrid, they look like they forgot how to play soccer completely. It's been really weird watching them play, and it's just not a joy watching them play. So it would have been a shame for a team like that to be on top of La Liga. And gladly, we took back our lead. Now, to get into the match ratings. We got to get into the match ratings. This was a great game. And, we had players that, even though we won 3-0, not everybody had the greatest of games in the world. But we got the result, and that's all that really matters. So let's get into the match ratings for this week. 3-0. Yes. So we're going to get into Garcia first, our goalie. 7.5. He had a much better game than the one in Atleti, even though that was a couple games ago. Garcia, he's been playing well all season. He also had a big save at the very beginning of the game. I don't know what our deal is with giving up chances in the first 3 minutes. We gave up a chance in the first 30 seconds of the game. Unacceptable. But it's just the way our team has been playing all season, even though I don't like it. And against good teams, we're going to get burned. But he's been saving us a lot this season, so I gave him a 7.5 for this game. And he was much better than last week. and the way he played last week, it's not difficult to be much better than what he was last week. So he got a 7.5 for today. Let's go to Koundé. Let's go to Koundé, man. 6.0. He was good going forward and combined with Yamal well and delivered some great crosses. But other than that, he didn't really have any weaknesses to his game today. He played decent and he did what he was supposed to do. Nothing spectacular, pretty straight up and down, but no special effects today. He had an opportunity in the first half to score, but he skied it. But you can't really blame him too much for that. You know, he's a defender at the end of the day. He's not a center forward or a winger. So yeah. Besides that, he did what he was supposed to do today, and he had a decent performance. He had a very decent performance, and hopefully he can grow. He could grow from this performance into next week and into the end of the season, because it's important that Koundé plays well in order for us to succeed. It's very important that whoever is playing wing back for us for the rest of the season holds down the fort. So, decent game from Koundé. Next, we're going to go to Garcia. 7. I think a 7 is fair. I mean, we gave up a few chances, a few wide open chances, but not as much as usual. So Garcia played better than usual today. And besides a few of those chances, I was actually decently pleased. And you know, he also showed great composure in assisting Bernal for the first goal. For the first goal, and he did a great job on protecting the defense and did a great job in covering. So that's all you can really ask from our guys, is to show the composure back there, and he showed composure even going forward, which is, we don't get to see that every day. So I'm proud with his performance, and he's also another very important guy that we're going to need. So we need to see him up his game if we're going to make any run for the Champions League, and if we're going to win the league this year. We're going to need to see more of these type of performances from him. But this week, he did well. So shout out to Garcia. Gerard Martin, 4. Yeah, he's not a very good center back. He was caught out on a few occasions. He's not very comfortable back there. I personally don't think that he's a good. I think his best position is left back personally, because at the center back position he doesn't have the composure that is needed. I know he was filling in for Koubarsi today, so you know it was. He works hard. He works hard, but going forward, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him touch center back. To be honest, I get nightmares every time I see him back there. He needs a tough defender with him to cover him, and Garcia is not a tough defender, so it's very scary with him back there. But we gotta. I guess that's what we decided to go with today. But going forward, this whole Martin thing. He's a great player coming from the bench, but starting center back, that's ridiculous. He should never touch center back again, ever, for the rest of the season, if we're being serious about, winning. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Get him up out of center back, bro. Cancelo, 9. He was the player of the game today. Amazing service. Caused a lot of issues down the left. Great crosses. He hit the post once and contributed to goals. But this is what he can bring to the table every game, because he's that talented. He's that great going forward from the left back position. So I'm expecting more of these type of performances, but I was very pleased with Cancelo. Also, one thing you got to realize, his side didn't get attacked that much, so you couldn't really see his defensive deficiencies. But with that being said, phenomenal game from Cancelo, and man, he's going to be an important player for us. It's going to be him and Balde fighting for that left back spot. It's going to be him and Balde, and I think right now Cancelo is winning that battle. He's winning that battle just off this game. So if Balde wants to get back on the field, he better pick his game up, because Cancelo's here to take that left back position for sure, brother. So, great game from Cancelo. Now, next to Frankie, 8. Frankie had a very solid game. He had a great goal, a cross in from Cancelo, actually, that Frankie finished to score his actual first goal of the season. But Frankie, Frankie did what Frankie does. Frankie had a great game. I was very pleased with his performance. Nothing much to critique. And in Frankie's game, I never really critique Frankie because I think he proves week in, week out that I think he's a very underrated midfield. I think without Frankie, our midfield is kind of in shambles a little bit, especially with Pedri out. Having Frankie in there controlling the midfield is essential for us to be successful this season. So, shout out to Frankie, another very good performance from him. And I'm expecting another great performance next week, and the week after that, and the weeks leading up until we are on top of the league and in the Champions League final. So I'm very excited with how Frankie played, and he just brings a joy to my heart. It's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch. Next, on to Bernal. 7. He had a pretty good game. He scored. He's physical and under control. And you know what? He's, filling in for Pedri's no easy task. You can't really fill in for Pedri because I think Pedri's the best midfielder in the world. But I like what Bernal's been bringing to the table. I think this was his second goal this season, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's contributing onto the attack. And I like his game. He's a decent young player. And I can't wait to see what he has to offer for us for the rest of the season, man. I was very pleased with his game today. I was very pleased. On to the next. Let's go to Olmo. And Olmo, Olmo, he was all right, but he's had better days. Especially from the final third. You expect better from him, but it wasn't one of his greatest games, but luckily we were able to take care of business. Olmo's not going to play this bad. I'm expecting him not to play this bad, for the rest of the season. Olmo, he's been very good this season, actually. So I'm expecting a better performance next week, and we're going to need him. He's another guy. We need him to have great performances in order for us to win. So I'm expecting better from him next week, and I think we will get better from him next week because he's too good of a player to, not be in form. So let's go Lamine Yamal. 5.5. He didn't really do anything. He had a few tricks and flicks up his sleeve, but he didn't really do a whole lot. But it was below his standards, you know what I'm saying? He played below his standards. I expect more from Lamine Yamal. He'll be, I think, top 5 best players in the world right now, especially at that young of an age. But it's hard to be consistent at that young of an age. It's very difficult to be consistent. So I'm expecting a better performance from him next week, as he is the man. He is the guy of the team. He's our best player. So I'm expecting a much more consistent performance from Lamine Yamal. And I'm sure that we're going to get that next week, 1,000%, because he's going to be the key in order for us to win the league, the Champions League, make a comeback in the Copa del Rey. He's the key to that. So we're going to start needing to see those big-time performances that I know he's capable of, and I believe that he'll deliver on. So he needs to be better for next week, for sure. Lewandowski, on to the next, man. There's nothing much to say about him. Rafinha, he had a decent game. I think this is you know it was a decent game from Rafinha. He caused a lot of problems on the left with Cancelo. I like those two together. And forced the goalie to make a couple spectacular saves. But I like these two together. When these two are on the same side, Levante, they didn't know what to do. Caused a lot of issues going through that left hand side. So I'm very pleased with Rafinha's performance. Obviously, it could be a little better, but hey, he did his job for the most part. Didn't do he did what he was supposed to do in there with Cancelo, and I actually want to see this little duo together for the next few games and see how that works out, because I feel like this duo right here can cause teams a lot of issues. I believe that they can cause teams a lot of issues. So I want to see how we look with these two in the next games upcoming. And I believe that with everybody, some people had good games, some people had bad games, but I believe that if all of us as a collective can all have good games, there's not a team in the world that can beat us. So we just have to stay sharp and stay consistent if we're gonna make a run and all the trophies that we're trying to win this season, man. So that's all we really need. That's the most important thing in order to see success. You see, we dominated possession, more shots, fouls, yellow cards, but we dominated this game. Levante was never really in it. Again, I say we put hands, feet, and hooves on them as we should. And I'm excited for our next game. Now, let's take a little sneak peek into next week, because, to be honest, I don't even know what we have next week. I don't even know who we play next week. I just know that we have a week off because we took care of what we needed to do in Champions League, as we should. So yeah, we're not going to be playing Champions League for a little bit. So we just have La Liga games. So our next game is against Villarreal. I think we should take care of that. I know Villarreal's in third, but I saw them play against Madrid. I don't think they have anything for us. And that's a home game, so that's our next match coming up. Yeah, man, we should really take care of Villarreal and really extend our lead in the league right now. And then we have Atleti right after that. And I don't know how we're going to come back from that game, that horrific game that we put up. I don't know what we're going to do. But if there is a team that can come back from that deficit, it's us. And I have full 100% faith that we will come back in that game because we're just that good. We are just that good. So for this week, that is all I really have. Nothing major coming up, besides the comeback game versus Atleti. But Champions League starting up next month, so that's going to be major, and we have to keep a close eye on that. But until then, we have to take advantage of what we're doing in the league, take advantage of the Copa del Rey, and make a huge comeback, and finish out the season like I said that we would, with a treble: Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey. And with that being said, see you till next week.